Hey everybody, this is Fading Glory, and I'm trying to learn to not yell at the camera when I'm recording. Let me know how I'm doing. So about 3 weeks ago, I was in New Jersey on business. I had set aside the Friday for myself to go into New York, specifically Brooklyn, and visit Williamsburg Garment Company and the legendary Maurice Malone to have a pair of bespoke jeans made. So here's the situation. I get up in the morning, I'm like a kid on Christmas. I can't wait. 7:30, I'm up and I'm looking at denim stuff online. I did remember there was this other place that I thought was in Brooklyn called Fitted Underground, who was, again, somebody who was supposed to be really, really amazing in terms of the jeans he's producing. I find the website, turns out he's like a mile and a half from Williamsburg, and, Maurice doesn't open until 11 o'clock. Eric, according to the website, opens at 10. Eric is Fitted Underground. You probably figured that out. So I hop on, send a text message to the number on the website and said, hey, I'm in town. Can I come by and get some jeans made? And Eric replies back and is like, yeah, man, come on by. Like, that's what I do, right? So, by the way, I will add that means that instead of just one pair of bespoke custom jeans on this trip, which was what I was planning for, I wound up buying two. Thank goodness my wife doesn't subscribe to the channel. So with that, this video has a couple of other things going on. We get a look into not one, but two of the top custom denim guys out there. But additionally, I am going to show you a pair of amazing jeans, like $1,000 jeans. You'll see them on me. I don't buy them, and you'll understand why when we get to that part of the video. That's number one. Number two, you might remember in my one video, Selvedge Denim, from cotton to jeans or something like that. I'll link it up here so that you know what it's called. I talk about Selvedge Denim and the fact that I'm kind of a snob when it comes to denim, and I don't really buy jeans that aren't Selvedge. But on this trip, I do buy a pair of jeans that aren't Selvedge, and I'll talk about that as well. So with that, we're going to get into it. Before we do, I do want to point out I'm wearing one of my Gustin vintage heavyweight t-shirts today. I did a video on this, kind of an unboxing when I got it, and I'll link that up here as well. This has been sort of it's not a fan favorite because I don't know if you like it so much, but I really like it. So go ahead and take a look at that video and to get my full thoughts. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get going. Next thing you'll see is me in the hotel in Jersey early that morning, and we'll kind of go from there. So don't forget, you like any of this stuff, like, comment, subscribe down below. See you in Jersey. All right, just about to walk out the door, and wanted to also mention that I have this pair of Naked and Famous pagodas, which you've seen before, or maybe you haven't. And these are great. I love them. I don't like the leg opening. So one of the things that I'm going to have Maurice do is not only make me a pair of jeans, but also taper these down for me. So that'll be exciting. I love that blue. All right, walking out the door. Okay, so here's the plan. I'm going to go from Newark Penn Station, which is right there, right next to my hotel. And I'm going to take a combination of trains and then Uber to get to Fitted Underground, which you can see right there. So here we are, we're walking through Newark Penn Station, and we're going to just go ahead and grab our handy ticket right here. We get a little shot of the New York City subway system. Then I grab an Uber, and then I get to... All right, so we're on Bayard, but doesn't seem like there's a lot of people, or a lot of... I see one door marked, so it's something. But Eric from Fitted is going to come out and find me. Maybe this is it? Nope, that's 108. Oh yeah, 108. Maybe this is it. All right, so here's the juice. Eric comes out and finds me. Actually, I walked in that door and we kind of bumped into each other in the hallway. But Eric brings me in, nice guy. And he's like, hey, just let me finish up some work here. I just, working on some jeans. So we're gonna see Eric, just finishing up some jeans, and then we start the process of getting me fitted. So I don't get a lot of this process, but essentially it's he's got these really, really cool fitting jeans that have these zippers that he can create space in and out of, and it's, like I said, it's really cool. And then we'll see him capture my measurements, and then we'll go into where we actually are able to start looking at fabrics, and you get to pick every single element of these jeans, everything from all the different stitching, all the different buttons, the rivets, everything. It's really cool. So let's just go ahead and we'll spend a few minutes watching Eric work, and then we'll pick it up from there.
And then we're going to put some notches for the rear pockets so everything aligns nicely. So where's my awl? If I was an awl, where would I be?
Okay, that's where you'd be. All right.
Yeah, but and then we said the inseam we're going to add 2 inches, so we're going to do a 32. So I think that's confirming your fit. Right there.
This is Candiani Indigo Warp Indigo Weft.
That's right, double indigo. So it comes across as super dark. If it's not against a black item, it looks black, but once you put black over it, you can see that it's in fact an indigo.
Gotcha.
Let me show you. If you are interested in a double black
I'm not.
option, which you're not.
Yeah. But it's always nice to look.
Here you can see the difference between the two.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, wow, that does pop out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So this is what I wound up with. First started thinking about going and getting some bespoke jeans made. I was thinking, well, you're going to go traditional cotton selvage. And I did go selvage, but this is actually a cotton linen mix. It's a Japanese fabric. Went with that nice silver gray thread. One of the fitted underground custom buttons that Eric designed himself. And then a couple of different rivets. For most of the rivets, they're just the standard you can see there. But if you look up above, for the coin pockets, I actually got rivets that are Eric's thumbprint that were cast. And so those are kind of special, so I went with that. It's supposed to be about 4 weeks in total. It's been about 2 weeks, so just waiting on these to come in. Next stop, Williamsburg Garment Company.
Oh, were you not talking about
Maurice himself does all the measurements for the bespoke jeans at Williamsburg Garment. You have a short conversation about what you're after, and then from there, you get your fitting pair on, you come out, and Maurice just gets to work.
It looks like you do about an inch and 3/4.
Okay.
So you would say about that. That's all.
I think so. Maurice, now that you touch those pants, they're worth more.
I wish that worked for me. I go around touching everything.
I heard that. So how do you determine what jeans are going to be Williamsburg Garment Company versus what are Moses Malone or Maurice Malone?
Well, they're 2 different brands.
Right.
Um,
Is Maurice Malone made to measure at all, or is that's strictly Williamsburg, right?
Maurice Malone, we don't really have that many jeans in house because we're still working on relaunching that brand. But it's that brand is inspired from like its history. So Williamsburg has been the brand I've been working on since I launched it in 2011, and just that people always ask about Maurice Malone, and we just almost 2 totally different customer bases.
Okay.
Most of the Maurice Malone people don't even know about Williamsburg, and vice versa.
Is that more of the street fashion hip hop sort of blend or crowd rather? All right. Great. Hey, if you made it this far in the video, maybe you go ahead and give me a like and subscribe, maybe even throw a comment down there. Let's talk a little bit more about Maurice Malone jeans. So as Maurice just explained, it's a really niche brand, and it's a brand that he hasn't been focusing on for the last 15 or so years as much as he has on Williamsburg Garment. Having said that, there's some really cool stuff that he's doing, and as he starts to relaunch the brand, there's some cool products out there and some things that I want to talk about. Number one is, if you look here, I tried on this really cool pair of jeans. These are made, they're actually made by Maurice. They're Selvedge denim, and then he sends them over to Japan to one of the top, I guess, producers of the Aranami Shibori, or Aranami Shibori, which is their traditional tie-dye. And as you can see, they are just fantastic looking. Now, I tried these on and had Maurice take a picture of them as a joke to send to my wife, because I knew that she'd be like, there's absolutely no way you're gonna buy those. And yeah, look, this is fading glory. We are denim and fashion for men of a certain age. And when you're 57 years old, I mean, you might be able to pull these off. I'm just not the type of guy. I don't run in those crowds where I can. But having said that, I haven't stopped being able to think about these jeans since I tried them on. Amazingly comfortable and just crazy, crazy beautiful to look at, okay? So that's number one. Wanted to point these out. $995, and you know, if you got the scratch for that sort of thing, worth every penny in my opinion. The other thing is, I actually bought, while I was there, a pair of non-selvage jeans. Now, for any of you that have watched my videos, especially maybe my Selvedge denim from cotton to jeans video, which I'll link up here, you know that I'm pretty much a snob and I only buy Selvedge denim. Except, while I was in the shop, Maurice has some of these really cool black skinny jeans, and I'll put these over here, and he's blowing them out for almost nothing. I think like $60. And they're just really cool. I bought a pair of those, and we're gonna do a little video about those. And the reason why I'm gonna do a separate video about them is because even after I bought them, Maurice hemmed them for me and then sent them back to me. They arrived just yesterday, the day before, and looking at them, I realized there were so many features of those jeans that they really do deserve their own, maybe shorter video, but they're awesome, and I can't wait to share them with you. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on with Maurice Malone, and let's wrap up my custom bespoke jeans from Maurice. So here we go. Here are my fitting jeans with my personal fit recipe on the back pocket, and this is what Maurice is going to use to create for me my perfect pair of jeans. In terms of what we went with, in this case, unlike It Fitted Underground, I went with a very traditional pair of jeans. 100% cotton, still Japanese fabric. I think I did 14 ounces, indigo warp, white weft. You can see I did a classic blue thread, and I went with that dark button. Little note about the threads, I actually tried to play a little bit. You got to realize you're faced with this wall of threads. And, you know, at first I was going to go with something a little wild. And Maurice, in a very, very nice way, was like, yeah, I just don't like that. So I rethought things. So here's Maurice and I got to tell you, you know, he's, I guess, in a way a little intimidating because of his stature and his history in the business. But I couldn't have found a warmer guy. You know, in fact, here in just a second, I'm going to talk a little bit about my experiences with both Eric and Maurice. But as far as Maurice goes, I really feel like this is a guy that I could sit down and I could have a beer with and just talk about anything or nothing at all. All right, so a couple of things I want to cover as we wrap up this video. Number one, even though it's not the longest video in the world, it was a marathon for me. A lot of different shooting locations, a lot of different devices that I shot on, trying to mix it all together. And I hope it came out cohesive and it all made sense. So number one, I'm just glad it's done. I've been home from Jersey for, I think, 3 weeks now. And I've been working on this as time allows, but pretty steadily. So I'm glad to be done with it. Number two, even though I don't have any of the bespoke jeans from either Eric at Fitted Underground or Maurice at Williamsburg Garment, I want to talk a little bit about my experiences at both of them, and I want to compare and contrast them in a way that is fair and makes sense. So, first of all, nothing I say is going to adequately capture the experience I have with dealing with both of these gentlemen. I'll say that I feel like I got really lucky because I met two really cool people and got to work with them doing something they do best. And each of them were really, really enjoyable to work with. So with Eric, I hadn't had a lot of opportunity to talk to him. In fact, I didn't have an opportunity to talk to him at all. We texted back and forth before I went and met him. Super friendly guy, immediately just, I don't know if I'm phrasing this correctly, but just a real sort of gentle, mellow guy, super friendly, and just a great guy to work with. Maurice was a little bit different because with Maurice, I had actually talked to him 2 or 3 times on the phone, making sure that, the dates worked for him when I was going to be there, narrowing down when I thought there were some changes in plans. And on the phone, Maurice, at least my experience was, he comes across a little quiet, a little sort of not willing to chat, if that makes sense. But the moment I got there and the moment we started talking, again, just a really great guy. And I think, as I mentioned with Maurice specifically in the video, but I think with both of them, I really do feel, and this isn't a word I overuse, I really feel like I made 2 friends, or at least 2 guys that if I spent any more time with, we could quickly become friends. Now, in terms of the processes, and this is unfair for me to say this, so I'm going to say it and I'm going to back away from it almost immediately. I would say that there's an art and a science to bespoke tailoring. And I would say that if you go to Fitted Underground and Eric, it seems more science than art. It seems a little bit more process driven. And it seems that Eric is a little bit more, I guess it's fair to say, organized in the sense that he has sort of a place for everything and everything in its place. Maurice is a little bit more art than science. I hope I said that right. I hope I said that Eric was science than art. Maurice is art than science, because with Maurice, it's kind of like you're stepping back maybe 25, 30 years into a shop that, again, like not everything is necessarily laid out, dressed right, dressed and labeled, but it's a much more organic sort of experience. Now, again, I'm not saying that Eric is all scientist, no artist. And I'm not saying that Maurice is all artist and not scientist. They couldn't do what they do as good as they do it unless there was a blending of the both. But again, when I went to Fitted Underground, just the way that Eric has his fitting jeans with all these different zippers so that he can, on the fly, give you more room in one space versus another. It just seemed, again, to be a little bit more process oriented. Neither of these are good. Neither of these are bad. They're just different. I have to say that even though bespoke jeans are expensive, if you ever get a chance to go and meet these guys, then you will not be sorry you did that, either from a time or money perspective. I also want to point out, and I'm not trying to make a commercial for either of them, but both Maurice and Eric at Williamsburg Garment and Fitted Underground, respectively, they each have a non-bespoke line of jeans. So you can go to their websites and you can buy jeans that have been styled and made by these guys. So, you kind of can't lose in terms of dealing with these guys. Everything they do is super quality from what I experienced when I was there. And again, if it's sort of in your wheelhouse to go and check out some really cool jeans, even if you're not going to go the full bespoke route, I can't say enough good things about either of these guys. Now, really quickly, Williamsburg Garment. I did have Maurice also taper a pair of Naked and Famous jeans for me. Those came in just to cut the tension. They're awesome. I'm going to do a short video about those separately from this one so it doesn't get too long. Just to wrap up, I had a great time. Again, I spent basically the better part of a day just working with two absolutely skillful giants in the industry in terms of bespoke jeans, and I couldn't be happier with the outcome of the process. I haven't yet received either pair of jeans, so I won't know for probably a few more weeks in Eric's case, and probably a couple more months in Maurice's case, what I feel about the jeans. But we're going to go through those together. Once they get in, we're going to do an unboxing. We're going to do a try on. I'll give you my thoughts on them. So again, having yet seen the jeans, I got to say that everything I've experienced so far was well worth the time and well worth the money. So with that, that's what I have for you right now. This is Fading Glory, and I'm just trying to get through the day, making sure that you look good and you feel good at the place you are in your life. And with that, I'll just say thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time when we talk about stuff to wear.